All right, sentence combining is really, really cool. It's basically just requiring us to look more deeply and closely at sentences and think more deliberately about how we create them. So here we've got this example. When I was 10, we were in the basement watching a movie called Swiss Family Robinson, and that's when it came to her that I should have a treehouse. So this is just a regular sentence from a regular book, but when you think about it, it's actually got a lot to it. It conveys a lot of little ideas all in one. I was 10, that's when it came to her. She thought I should have a treehouse. We were in the basement, we were watching a movie. The movie was Swiss Family Robinson. So it's actually pretty complicated, and we do this naturally. We combine all this information into just one simple sentence. And we've been writing sentences since we were in kindergarten. It's the first thing we start doing. So we do this really naturally by now, but I want to stop and think more about it. So what I've got here is a list of the little things. We're going to reverse engineer it. So this was a sentence. I've broken it down into all the small ideas, and now we have to put it back together. So I'm going to open up my document so you can see me do this, and you just pick somewhere to start. Don't obsess over it too much. For me, I like to just kind of go in order for the first time I do it. I think that's a good way to kind of start. So, and the light I think is the most interesting part of this list. So there were tendrils of light. The light was green, the light fizzled out. This happened again. She became nothing. She was only a brushstroke. The brushstroke was dark. She was a silhouette. She was a dark silhouette. The silhouette was against the landscape. The landscape was steel. So we'll start with the green. I'm going to combine, so tendrils of green light. I don't need to keep those separate. So you'll see me, I'm going to delete and add words just however I want. So there were tendrils of green light. Again, so it says here, this happened again. I'm just going to throw again in here by itself. I don't think I need to say this happened. There were tendrils of green light again, fizzling out. Fizzling out. I'm going to add fizzling out and sparking. No, I'm going to switch the order. Sparking and fizzling out. So you see this sparking wasn't in there, but I want to add like a really poppy visual. So I can add and take away words as I need to. So sparking and fizzling. Sparking and fizzling. Making her become nothing but a dark brushstroke of a silhouette. That's a really hard word to spell. Against the steel landscape. Cool. So there were tendrils of green light again, sparking and fizzing, making her become nothing but a dark brushstroke of a silhouette against the steel landscape. So you can see I combined these two. I kind of changed it so making her become nothing. I changed the tense a little bit, deleted a lot of stuff here, combined steel and landscape. So be as creative as you want with this. This is meant to be fun. The challenge is to get all the ideas into one sentence, but you can still delete words and add words however you want to make it. So that's one. Now we're going to do it a second time, because sometimes the first time you do something is just what comes naturally to you. It's not necessarily the best. And the second time it might not be better, but it at least pushes you to really think about it and try something new. So a good strategy is just to pick a new starting point. So I think I started with light. Maybe I'll start with a brushstroke, a dark brushstroke. So I'm going to say she was a dark brushstroke. She was a dark brushstroke up against the steel landscape. Ooh, okay. So I've got these two pieces. So I've still got silhouette, nothing, again, and the light. Okay, so she was a dark brushstroke up against the steel landscape. Oh, becoming nothing becoming nothing. She was a dark brushstroke. Ooh, I'm going to start with once again. Once again. To get that one in there, she was a dark brushstroke up against the steel landscape, becoming nothing as the tendrils of green light fizzled and went out. leaving her alone. A dark silhouette. Once again, she was a dark brushstroke up against the steel landscape, becoming nothing as the tendrils of green light fizzled and went out, leaving her alone, a dark silhouette. So, I don't know. Now the job, so you've written 2 sentences, and now you have to decide which one you like better. And this one's kind of tricky. So there were tendrils of green light again, sparking and fizzing, making her become nothing but a dark brushstroke of a silhouette against the steel landscape. I like that one, but I feel like this second one really tells a story. Once again, she was a dark brushstroke up against the steel landscape, becoming nothing as the tendrils of green light fizzled and went out, leaving her alone, a dark silhouette. I think that ending, like on the dark silhouette, is so much creepier than just like ending on the landscape. So I think I like the effect of this one better. I think it emphasizes the dark parts and so it's punchier and makes it more mysterious because we don't know what's happening. So starting with like what she is and then we see it unfold like, oh, what's happening? Why is she becoming nothing? And then we figure out how she's becoming nothing and what the end result is. So it tells a story a little better. So I will just write that out. I prefer the second sentence because the organization of events tells the story better and it emphasizes the dark words and setting. Cool. Really simple. So now you are going to do the same thing, same process. I will give you a list of things to try and combine into one sentence. You'll combine it twice to create 2 totally different sentences, just like I did here. And then you will tell me which one that you like better. So check out the assignment to see your list of sentences that you're combining and have fun.